All right, we're over here at Eurocharge Houston today. We're working on my 2008 335i with the N54 motor, and we're going to be installing a flex fuel sensor on this car today. The cone filters are going to have to come out of the way. So I'm already running the Spool Performance fuel filter. We're going to just be removing that and adding to this line. Okay, so there's the line removed off the high pressure rail. I have an HPFB upgrade kit, so that kind of shifts the line back and made it so that I don't have to remove the intake manifold. Your results may vary, but as you can see, I've removed it. If you could get your hand back there in the stock location, you'd be working underneath the manifold, it would snap in. Now we'll raise the car up to be able to access it from underneath. All right, so here we are under the car. I'm gonna pop this bracket off to get access to the lines. So I just popped this line off, as you saw. I already have this filter kit. So we've assembled this kit now with the filter and the sensor, as you can see. We're going to put it up into the car now. Okay, so now we're back up at the top of the car, and we fished the filter into position. We're going to zip tie it to the heater core line. So you should keep the body of the filter zip tied to the inlet of the heater core. So we just have it up in position there. So now we'll grab the line and fish it down to the inlet of the HPFP. Here's the line. We're gonna fish it into position. We should take off this fitting here in preparation. Here's the stock fuel line. You have to put this over the line, and then you bring the line up to here to screw it into position. And I was talking to the developer of this kit, and he told me that these are not a proper squared off fitting. They're rounded, so if you use a quick connect, it could potentially come off. That's why they use this. It's a more secure connection given the design of this. But down below, it doesn't matter because it's a squared off fitting. So as you can see, we've placed the line into position, and we're threading on the end piece. It's going to be a 14 mil to draw that in, and then this line can just stay out of the way. Plenty of slack is better, actually. All right, so now that we've connected the line, we're ready to do the electronics. It's relatively simple. You're gonna have this line here that's gonna go down. You'll be able to connect it from the top of the car. It'll feed down and connect to the ethanol sensor. There's a wireless transmitter that will go to your phone to be able to tell you what the ethanol content is. And that's gonna plug into this sensor harness here, like that. So you just have to make a couple basic connections. So you have to make the following connections. You're just gonna pop your lid off your DME box to find a couple positive wires there, and you're going to use a Positap to connect to that, and then the other one goes to ground. So over here by your washer fluid reservoir, we're gonna take off a 10 mil. Then you're gonna connect your ground wire from your harness. So the other end here is this wire. We're gonna pass it through this little cavity here, lift up on this rubber grommet, tuck it in this little valley, and then we can get it into the box and then just push back down on that. So we're tucking the entire harness into the fuse box. There's a little access panel there that's vacant on a lot of these cars. So both wires come into the fuse panel area, or the DME box, including the ground wire. And then we're just gonna have one harness leaving this DME box going over to the sensor on the driver's side of the car. Okay, so we're focused in on the wire now. We've put the posi tap through it, and we're gonna thread the other end of it on now to engage the wire. So that's it then. Pretty easy to connect it. And then now there is just the wireless sensor that you plug into this, and then you'll tuck that into your DME box as well. So now that we've done that, we can just tuck this back into position. Okay, so we just tuck the outlet or the output harness underneath this grommet as well. And we'll put the lid back on the box. Okay, so we're done over here. So here's the connector. So that's a tough shot to show you, but if you look down in here, you will see where we've made the connection. You'll find it waiting down here. And then you just tuck the harness down behind your firewall. All right, that concludes the installation. I'm just going to finish putting these filters back into position, and I'll come back when we're ready to test the sensor with an app. Okay, so I'm back home now, ready to show you guys how this app works. We're going to go to this app here called Spool Ethanol. Key is in the on position, and it automatically connected to the car and found that I have approximately a E60 or E61 in there right now. And it turns out that's a little bit too high for me anyway. It could have been affecting my tune and why I was getting a misfire. So we're gonna go to the gas station and change this so that it runs E50. But now we know for sure what's in there. It tells you the temperature, and it also tells you how much ethanol is in there. Now, if you go to calculator over here, you can see here it says desired ethanol, E60, current in tank, E60, approximate quality of ethanol, or E85. That depends on the gas station that you're going to. Some gas stations will have pure E85, where it's actually about E83. Others will have somewhere between E51 and E85. So if you've already tested your local gas station and found that it actually wasn't what you expected, you could either just use this app, put some in there and see what comes back to test, or use one of those little bottle analyzers. Or I heard Spool's gonna be making another product where you can actually evaluate at the pump and integrate that with the app. But for now, I know that I have true E85 at my local gas station. So I wanna change it so that I'm running E50. And I'm gonna go ahead and see how much fuel is in my car. Okay, so I currently have 4.49. So it's telling me that if I wanna go from E60, no, I currently have E60 in the tank and I want E50. It's telling me to put in a perfect mixture of 6 gallons of E85, 6 gallons of gas. And that'll take me to a true E50 mix, and I'll verify that. So it rounds to the closest number, but that's what it's telling me based on what I put in here. I was able to figure out that it's a good 50-50 mix. If you want E50, and you currently have E60 in the tank, it's about 6 gallons because there's already 10% ethanol in your fuel. So desired E50, current E60, that automatically populates, I believe. Estimated ethanol E85, and I have 4 gallons. I should put about 6 gallons in there. So I'm gonna do that, and we'll see how that number changes. So I'm gonna go to the gas station, top up with fuel, and we'll see if we can bring that number down to E50. It could be a reason why I've been encountering some issues with my car. If you've been following the channel, I've been encountering a misfire issue on my car. At the top of 3rd gear or 4th gear, you'll get a misfire in cylinder 6. And at the advice of one of the employees at Eurocharge, they have an E92 making 600 wheel. They said, try out running E50, don't push to E60. And another thing to consider is the gas. I was getting my 93 at Shell, and then I was going to a local gas station that has E85 called Murphy's to get my ethanol. He said he was having a lot of issues with his car, similar to what I've been experiencing. And as soon as he switched to Sunoco, problems being gone for him. So he said, try Sunoco, try E50. So there you go, we're running E51 now after using the calculator here and filling up. So now I'm running Sunoco E85 along with Sunoco 93. Let's see if that cures my issue. So normally for me to be able to trust the new gas station, I'd have to take my little tester and measure the ethanol content before I could ever figure out what the approximate ethanol will be. But now that we have this app and that sensor, I know that it's legit, it's proper E85. Kind of expect that from Sunoco, but it's just good to know, peace of mind. You don't need to bring that little bottle with you and test. So thanks again to Spool Performance for providing the hardware, and Eurocharge Houston for allowing me to use the shop to install it. I'm going to put a link in the description for where you can buy one of those sensors, and I'll put details with regards to the app and how to download it. If this is the first video you're catching of mine, consider subscribing. I do upload regularly. Thanks for watching. Wow.